Hey guys, welcome to another Q&A session, questions and answers, a new segment on my channel where I answer the questions of people who left comments on my videos using my laptop, and I reply via this video using my cell phone to record it. So let's get right into it. The first question I'll address, and I'll make like the main question for this video, but I'll address a couple different questions as well, is someone asked me, how do I deal with the disapproval of others when I make decisions? I'm paraphrasing because I can't find the person's question. I think it was Katie from Australia. Shout out to Australia. And another person left a comment on my video from Switzerland. It's amazing to connect with people from all over the world. I'm in America. But to answer the question on how do I deal with someone else not agreeing with my decisions, I think that's a powerful question and a powerful thing you need to address in your life to become an adult, to become self-confident, and to become self-aware enough to build your own life. You have an individual fingerprint. Whether you're from Australia, Switzerland, America, the UK, Afghanistan, Israel, if you live in the same house or you live across the world, you have a different fingerprint than the other 7.5 billion people in this world. What does that tell us? That tells us that even though as humans, we are all connected in similar things that we share throughout our journey here in this world, and that even though we may connect with some friends that we are very similar, like-minded, we are individuals. And it's your job, it's your duty to fulfill your destiny in being yourself, understanding and utilizing your individual fingerprint. And the only way to do that is to build up yourself to the point where you are confident enough to make decisions without the approval of others, whether it's your parents, friends, or society. Sometimes it may be not just making decisions based on other people's approval, but making decisions even if people disapprove, like intentionally, like they try to tear you down. Because either people will agree with you, disagree with you, or they'll actually try to stop you. Like some people say, oh, that's fine. Some people say you shouldn't do that. And some people will like kind of go out of their way to really like give pushback. But you have to understand, when you decide to make your own decisions as an adult, whether it's after high school, when you leave your parents' house at some point and you decide you don't want to follow their philosophy, you want to decide your own career, or you work for someone and you have a different idea how something should be done. Anytime you speak up, anytime, there's a different protocol for business, for your personal life, etc. But the amount of, when you speak up and you are willing to make decisions based on how you think and what you want to do, there are consequences. 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 Everyone loves to hear, yes, I want to be confident. I don't want to care about the disapproval of others. That's great, because you shouldn't. But you have to understand that there are consequences to living your own independent life. I often give the example in my own life where when I started to make different decisions in my life, and one big one was to sell my house and live in my car, my father got upset that I didn't ask for his approval or even tell him. But I didn't tell him and I didn't ask for his approval because I wasn't asking for his approval. I didn't really care what he thought. And I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want him to give me negative feedback. I was already scared enough making the decisions for my own life. And I wasn't asking him for anything. I was doing something for me. However, as soon as he found out, he made a big deal of it. And I told him, look, I'm not asking for your approval. And that had a consequence of us severing our relationship. And I did the severing, but when I did that, the consequence was I cut out my father, I cut out a support system, I cut out an inheritance. So just like, if you went into your job or something, you say, I don't want to do it like my manager wants me to do it. There's a consequence. And I think you should be very careful on how you live in your personal life versus how you live in your professional life. Because in your professional life, you're paid to show up to a job and to follow certain instructions. Now, again, if someone's asking you to do something immoral or unsafe, then you should speak up. But if someone in your business life is just trying to tell you to do something that you may not agree with, as long as it's safe and it's moral, you need to do what they're telling you to do or quit. And I don't recommend you quit until you find another job, because the consequence of not listening to your manager is a layoff or reprimand, or being reprimanded. But in your personal life, you have more liberty to be more bold. However, you can lose an inheritance, or you could lose a friend, you could lose a lover, you could get a divorce. Many people say after a divorce, what they realized was they found themselves, because they sacrificed who they were as a person to please someone else. They wanted their approval. Then they got fed up after 10 years. They didn't want their approval. And the consequence to that was divorce. They probably lost half their net worth. Their family was severed. Now they have to visit their children instead of living with their children. There's a consequence to everything. However, the biggest, worst consequence you'll ever face in your life is not being yourself. Period. So live below your means so that you can make more decisions about being yourself. Work for an income. When you are a little bit independently, take care of yourself physically. The more independent you are physically, financially, emotionally, the less you have to depend on others, the more you can be yourself. The more insecure, the less you work, the less you take care of yourself, the more dependent you are on others. That should be your motivating factor for self-care, for employment. The one reason I always wanted to work since I was young, because I wanted independence. I didn't want to depend on other people to feed me. That should be your only motivation on why to go to work sometimes. Then develop your passion and do things that you enjoy more rather than you just hate. But what do I say to anyone who asks me, Sam, how do you deal with the disapproval of others? Get your shit together so that you don't have to depend on others, and then realize, try to be respectful, try not to cause drama, but there's going to come to a tipping point where you're going to have to make decisions that has consequences. You're going to lose some friends, family, etc. That's my opinion, my experience. So that's, the main question that I wanted to address in this video. There's a couple other ones that I wanted to get to, but I think that's such a powerful topic, what I just spoke on, that I'll do a different video for a couple other these questions. And I appreciate everyone. Leave a comment below in this video or any video asking me a question or just commenting on what I just spoke about. And I will reply to your comment via, texting a reply, or do a video about it, or I'll talk to you every night on this channel. I go live and I interact with the audience. But I appreciate my viewers, and I appreciate these good questions. But the answer to many good questions are simple, basic truths. How do you lose weight? You got to eat less and move more. How do you develop healthy relationships? You can't be a people pleaser, and you can't just date people on vanity. You can't just be with people that you think are like cool. You have to, and you have to be yourself, guys. When you are yourself, people got two options. They accept you or they don't like you. And better that you find out now than 10 years later, or God forbid, 30 years later. Again, respect the different protocols of life. There's a different protocol in the conference room than in the comforts of your home. I hope this video helped. If it did, I hope you click that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Check out my playlist on my Patreon. Leave a comment below and thank you for your viewership and for your support. God bless you.